Syracuse get a chance to look at a lot of players tonight, which will be to the advantage of the coaching staff.
Thank you very much, Eric. We're all set for tonight's game, Cornell and Syracuse. As you watch it here on Rogers Cable Systems and Cable 13, we'll be right back with the opening tap. Carrier Dome on the campus of Syracuse University. A look at the Orange Men getting ready for their official season opener against Big Red of Cornell. Cornell has played one already, and they defeated Utica College, which technically is a division of Syracuse University. They won that game 70-54. Right now, let's go to the public address announcer, Carl Eilenberg, and meet the starting lineups.
What are order? Brown, Washington, Cycli, Addison, Hawkins. And now, folks, the starting lineups for tonight's season's opener between the Orange Men and the Big Red of Cornell. For the visitors from far above Cayuga's waters, a 6'1" sophomore from Bennett Academy in Naperville, Illinois, number 32, John Bayes. A 6'2" senior from Benedictine High School in Savannah, Georgia, number 10, Sam Gibbons. A 6'7" senior from Holy Trinity High School in Roosevelt, New York, number 34, Ken Bantam. At 6'6", a sophomore from Shadyside High School in Pittsburgh, number 30, Dean Cartsonis. And a 6'4" junior from St. Peter's High School in Staten Island, number 24, Martin Brew. For the Orange Men, a 6'4" freshman from Dunbar High School in Baltimore, Maryland, number 35, Michael Brown. A 6'2" sophomore from Boys and Girls High School in Brooklyn, number 31, Dwayne the Pearl Washington. A 6'10" freshman from the American School in Athens, Greece, number 4, Ronnie Cycli. A 6'7" junior from Snyder High School in Jersey City, New Jersey, number 12, Raphael Addison. And a 6'8" senior from Malvern High School in Malvern, New York, number 53, co-captain Andre Hawkins. The Cornell coach is Tom Miller, the Orange coach, Jim Boeheim.
And we'll play tonight's game with 3 officials. No shot clock in this contest tonight. Our officials in this game, Eugene Monge, Mark DiSciola, and Jim Burr. Shot clock will be used only during official Big East games this season, and the clock will be on for the duration of those games. Under the Teflon roof of the Carrier Dome. Cornell is coached by Tom Miller, and Duke, you got a chance to watch the Big Red in their opening win over Utica College, Larry Costello's team.
Cornell looked very good in their opening game. Their 15th straight win at Barton Hall. Coach Tom Miller has really turned this program around. A disciple of Bobby Knight, he played for Knight at Army for 3 years and played in 3 ITs at Army, and then went to Indiana as Knight's assistant from 75 to 79 before coming to Cornell.
Ronnie Cycli against Ken Bantam. And Cornell has the tap in the backcourt. Here come the Big Red of Cornell. This is John Bayes, number 32. Works the backcourt along with Sam Gibbons, number 10. Pressure from Syracuse early, as Cornell will probably be trying to control the tempo. There's Bantam. And the scrambles between Hawkins and
Cornell, I'm sure, is going to be very careful in their shot selection this evening, because I believe that they will be getting probably one shot at that basket most of the evening, as they did on that particular time down the floor.
Well, the arrow gives Syracuse possession on what would have been a jump ball situation. The arrow is back.
This is an excellent man-to-man defensive team, as one might suspect, with Tom Miller being a disciple of Knight. There's a good help defense right there.
Intending on the high low to Andre Hawkins, and here comes Givens. Spinning by the Pearl. And number 24 is Drew Martin. He won a couple of games with the last second shots. Here's Bayes, who can't put it up off the dribble. Kartsonis, number 30. And the stutter step and Bantam with a shot, and Addison the rebound. Here come the Orangemen. There's the hesitation by Washington, and little Givens has the rebound in the crowd. 1 minute and 5 seconds in, and no score. Givens is handled by the Pearl, and that's why he drew the foul. He put his hand right on Sam Givens.
Syracuse putting good pressure on. One of the early concerns of Coach Boeheim here early in the season is the lack of consistency in the defensive play of the Orangemen.
Givens again matched up with Pearl Washington. Bayes pops out. He's guarded by Michael Brown. He gets free for the jumper, and Cornell is on top.
Bayes, as I mentioned earlier in our broadcast, a very intelligent guard. Fine penetration there. Pulled it up just short of the big man inside and got that easy jump shot.
Hawkins. And the Pearl with an offensive rebound. Goes baseline. And Bantam has the big red rebound.
Well, if Sam Givens and John Bayes in the backcourt can handle that pressure from the Syracuse guards, Cornell will do a very effective job in their delivered offense.
Bantam that time passing up the shot. And the steal by Michael Brown. Can he save it? Yes. After the exchange with Cycling, now it's Monroe and making that Washington. Addison. Cycling down low. Hawkins cutting across the paint. And there's the first Syracuse basket.
2.5 minutes gone by in this ball game. The Syracuse fans can now sit down and relax and enjoy the rest.
And the Orange slap on the press. Cornell breaks it as Givens comes across. They had a 3-on-2 momentarily. Kartsonis with room, and it's still Cornell ball. We're tied at 2 in the opening 3 minutes of play. Ron Cycling, number 4, and Drew Martin will throw it in. Kartsonis and Givens. Syracuse goes back in the zone as they often do on the inbounds play. They give the baseline to Martin, and he connects.
Drew Martin with a fine baseline move, taking it right to the heart of the Syracuse defense for that basket.
Tom Miller with a coat off, short sleeves. It's a warm night in late November here in Syracuse. Temperature at game time right around 65 and raining. This might be the warmest outside temperatures for a basketball game in the Dome since it opened. Pearl's inbounds pass is deflected and taken down. Cornell with trouble getting it across, but now Martin controls it. Drew Martin from Staten Island. He's a co-captain along with Bantam from Roosevelt on Long Island.
This is a veteran Cornell team with 4 starters back. There's a great pass by Drew Martin.
Beautiful give and go, but
however, Bantam's going to be called for the travel.
They collapsed on Bantam. And off the turnover, Syracuse gets it back.
Cornell on the verge of respectability in the Ivy League. Last year was their first winning season in 16 years, and they ended up 9-5 in the Ivy League. Only 1 game off the pace in the championship.
Addison spinning for his shot, a little double pump. Big rebound in there by the little man, Givens.
That's Givens' second rebound. He's a transfer from North Florida Junior College. A year ago came into the Cornell program and has played well ever since.
Now here's Givens again, intending down low for Bantam, and he's held from behind. Cycling doesn't particularly like the call.
Bantam did a nice job of sealing inside. Cycling going over the back, and a great feed from Givens into that post area.
Cornell subbing for the first time in the game. Wolf Florin, number 44, has come on, replacing Dean Kartsonis. And here's Florin now.
Coach Miller really high on him. He's a great outside shooter, very versatile and quick of foot.
4 minutes gone in the game. Cornell leads it 4-2. Dave Cohen, Duke McGrath, Eric Sandifer.
With Syracuse in his zone, be looking for number 24, Drew Martin, or 32, John Bayes. They will be putting the ball up on the perimeter.
Bay is on one wing, and here's Martin left free, and he connects again.
Nice skip pass across that zone to Drew Martin from John Bayes.
It hasn't been Cornell's defense, really, that has kept the score down. Syracuse just not executing their offense. Now Hawkins is down low, and he pops out. Pretty good man-to-man.
Excellent, excellent team defense. Everybody's seeing the ball. Cornell doing a good job of keeping Syracuse off the boards, allowing them only one shot most of the time here in the early moments of the first half.
Derek Williams in the game as well in the backcourt. Here he plays Sam Gibbons. Here's Florin. Takes Hawkins a long way from the basket. Michael Brown playing Bayes. Disciplined Cornell team.
Well, every possession is so important for Cornell.
And the reach-in committed by Addison against Drew Martin.
A pretty foolish foul right there by Raphael. The ball already been posted in. Cornell will put it in play.
Greg Monroe has come on, replacing the freshman Michael Brown. 3 team fouls on Syracuse, the first on Raph Addison. Cartona is back in the game.
With Syracuse failing to score but just one field goal, it's going to be difficult for them to put their full court pressure on, obviously, unless they can score.
Nice lead to Bantam against Hawkins, and he connects. Those two played against each other in high school on Long Island.
Bantam doing a great job of sealing inside, and then another great feed inside by the Cornell guards.
The pearl goes by Williams. It's blocked by Williams, and a foul committed by Addison climbing up the back of Cartsonis.
Addison very quickly picks up his second personal foul in less than a minute.
So with 5.5 minutes gone as Jim Boeheim looks on, Cornell leads Syracuse 8-2. Williams attending for Cartsonis, and he threw it away. Syracuse has had really only one fast break opportunity, and they really didn't take that opportunity.
The tempo of this game so far obviously has been to Cornell's advantage. Syracuse wants to get an upbeat tempo. To do that, they're going to have to score and control the rebounds.
Addison over the backboard and out of bounds, and Syracuse will now send in Wendell Alexis for Ronnie Cycli. And we'll see how Syracuse plays in the pivot.
I'm sure Syracuse will be doing a lot of experimenting in that front line during the pre-conference schedule. The Big East opener is more than a month away.
Cycli did not touch the ball on offense. Down low, nice denial by Andre Hawkins.
Andre now moving back to the center possession defensively as Alexis comes in at the power forward.
13:54 to play in the first half. We've got a timeout with Cornell leading Syracuse 8-2.
Well, credit Cornell with some excellent defensive play here in the early moments of this first half. That man-to-man tenacious defense where they put a lot of pressure on ball, and the remaining players doing a great job away from the ball.
Right now, let's check in with Eric Sandifer.
One observation that I've made here in the first half is that Cornell's been very effective against SU's zone, inbounding the ball. Here, the X's are SU zone. What Cornell's doing is inbounding the ball here. The opposite man is coming to the corner here. Cornell's doing a very effective job by throwing the ball over the zone to the open man, swinging it back around. They've scored from the inside here once and a couple jump shots from the perimeter. They're doing a very excellent job dissecting the SU zone. One time SU game up the baseline, which is a cardinal sin in the SU program. I think it's very important for SU to tighten up in their inbound zone. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thank you, Eric. Coach McGrath, how do you counteract what Eric just diagrammed for us?
I think he made some excellent points there. What we call the skip pass across the zone. Cornell has two excellent shooters in Drew Martin and John Bayes, and Syracuse is going to have to put a little more pressure on that perimeter of that zone.
Wasn't there a time when you were told never to throw the ball over the zone?
It used to be a mortal sin.
Who was the guy who broke that rule and made it popular?
I think that came in around the late 60s.
And that time Syracuse denies the baseline. Wendell Alexis stepping in front of Dean Cartsonis.
Another one of those golden rules was never dribble against the zone, and now everybody is penetrating the ball, forcing two players to play one.
Kartsonis is not really quick of foot or very shifty with the basketball. Givens back in the game. Tom Miller doing all sorts of substitutions. Errant pass, Alexis picks it off. And now the Pearl on the break against Bantam.
Pearl at his best. Pearl at his best in transition, and that's what Syracuse has got to get more of.
Ken Bantam commits that foul. Number one on Bantam.
Syracuse played great defense down the other end of the floor, forcing that turnover, and Pearl took advantage of it, taking it all the way to the basket and drawing a foul.
Turnover count, fairly even.
First freshman in the history of the Big East to become an All-Star a year ago, and there's the press, which Syracuse needed to put on after a score.
And there's the steal. Monroe misses the first, and he gets the second.
This is what Syracuse is after now. Good pressure after a score. We'll see if Cornell can handle this.
Drew Martin inbounding to Bantam. And you see they triple team him, but he gets it ahead nicely to
3-on-1.
And Baez stops and pops and connects.
Well, taking it right through the heart of that press, John Baez with a 3-on-1 advantage, pulling up and taking that easy jump shot.
Here's Alexis turning around at the baseline.
Oh, excellent feed inside to the big man.
10-8 now. Again, Syracuse slaps on the press, and they throw it over Addison to Bantam. He's in trouble, and he'll have to try it himself.
Pretty agile player, 6'7", bringing the ball across himself.
In trouble again, and the Pearl knocks it off the hands of Givens out of bounds.
Great effort by Pearl. It looked like Cornell might have beaten that pressure 3/4 of the way down the court, but Pearl, retreating, wisely deflected it. Syracuse regains possession.
Syracuse can tie with a basket on this trip down court. They trail 10-8.
Syracuse getting a lot more movement in their offense now. Player and ball. There's a wide open screen on the baseline.
It hits twice. It's tapped in by Alexis. Alexis with the tip, and we're tied at 10-10. Is that a tap or a tip?
That was a tip.
Photographer got tipped or tapped on the head as one of the Syracuse players ran out of bounds. Timeout here with 12 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first half, and we're tied at 10 apiece.
The tempo of this ball game has turned around very quickly, and Tom Miller wants to talk about it. This is not the style of play that Cornell feels they can win here at the Dome. Syracuse becoming very effective in that last 2 minutes, mainly because they put the ball in the basket and were able to apply that good pressure.
This is the season opener for Syracuse. The Carrier Classic coming up next week. We'll have that one for you here on Cable 13 as well. Right now, here's Eric Sandifer.
Okay, there's been a new rule implemented in the NCAA this year. There's a coach's box. The coaches, players, and any assistants, including the trainers, aren't allowed outside of this box area. If any player breaks this plane, it's an automatic technical foul charged to the coach. And you all know after 3 technical fouls on the coach, he's ejected for the game. It's a very important factor to watch throughout the year, especially with aggressive coaches like Lou Carnesecca, Coach Boeheim, John Thompson, and the rest. So this could be an interesting factor. Back to you, Dave.
Well, so far the coaches are staying within the limitations.
I would add Mr. Massimino to that list of Big East coaches. It'll be interesting to see how that rule is going to be enforced by the officials.
Except with Carnesecca, he walks out on the court. He doesn't just stroll down the sideline.
It's like taking his arms and legs off.
Look out, here comes Hawkins. Thought he was coming our way, Duke.
Get out of the way of that fella.
Monroe against the Cornell man-to-man. Bantam doing a pretty good job inside against the Hawk, who spins baseline and connects. That's a pretty shot by Hawkins, who now has 4. And Syracuse leads for the first time in the game at the 11:40 mark of the first half. trying to overplay Givens. Alexis gives Bantam room.
Cornell very deliberate, especially without a clock here tonight.
That's a force by Cartonis, but he connects. And the game is again tied at 12 apiece. Cartonis only appeared in 12 games last year, and now this year he's a starter. Howard Trish is in. Intending down low for Hawkins. Good feed.
Not a bad feed. Andre just couldn't get the handle on it. Turnover, Cornell ball. Syracuse backs up and drops the pressure this time down the floor.
Monroe against Givens. I keep saying Monroe. That's Washington, of course, against Givens. And here's Monroe playing Bayes. And Cartonis had a chance to save it, and I guess he made the right decision. G. Manji looked to the other officials.
There was some doubt in his mind, too, as he waited to that ball. Went all the way to the out-of-bounds line.
Official timeout.
Derek Williams back in the ball game for Cornell, giving number 10, Sam Givens, a breather.
And this is Derek Williams, played by Monroe. Penetrates that hash mark every so often.
Every 5 seconds, referee Jim Burr with his hand count out there.
There's a
Cornell
delayed game now.
they're trying to spread the floor, spread out that Syracuse defense.
12-12. And we have 10 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Drew Martin with all sorts of room, and Bantam with the weak side rebound. He's going to go to the hoop.
Nice move by Bantam. Good offensive rebound, turnaround, took it right into the heart of the Syracuse defense. Kenny Bantam, the leading scorer, rebounder, and field goal shooter for Cornell the past 2 seasons. The first time any Cornell player has ever done that in their history. A second-team All-Ivy pick a year ago.
Mike Mullane, number 23, has come into the game for the first time. Herman Hareed is in the game for Syracuse. And Ken Bantam is at the free throw line. Bantam hit on 5 of 8 in the opening game win over Utica College.
Well, with 10 minutes remaining in this first half, Cornell is right in the thick of this ball game.
Watch Hareed if he gets the ball down low. He doesn't waste much time in making a move. There's Hareed with the basketball, losing it on the loose ball rebound situation, and here comes Cornell. Big Red leads Syracuse 13-12. I wonder if they'll play the alma mater in this game, because both schools share the same song. Drew Martin going around Trish. Saved nicely by Mullane. Now Bayes gets some room. And Trish has the easy rebound. Monroe is slowed by a leg problem. Here's Hareed. There it is.
One of the few early fast breaks we've seen by Syracuse. Well executed.
Hareed, 6'7", freshman from Dunbar in Baltimore. He can put it on the floor, he can run the court, and he's got some great moves inside.
Of course, Michael Brown also coming from Dunbar High School, a great program down there in Maryland. Herman did not even play as a junior in that program.
Again, the spread offense by Cornell. Syracuse 14, Cornell 13. This is only the second time Syracuse has led. Mullane to Derek Williams.
Trying to free up Bantam inside. Bayes would like to penetrate, spread the floor out, try to isolate the Syracuse defense one-on-one. There's a great pass across the floor again. Cornell showing great patience. There's some great defense by Howie Triss on the help side, getting some help from Wendell Alexis.
That's a jump ball, but it will stay in possession of Cornell. That's the direction the arrow is pointing. Dean Cartonis comes back in the game. And here's Cartonis on the inbounds. The Pearl overplaying. Cartonis again now to Givens. And Mullane disdaining the shot.
Making it very difficult for Syracuse. There's a double team with the ball in the corner. That's where Cornell didn't want it. There's the 5-second call.
He tried to call timeout, and he did before that 5-second call came from Gene Manji.
That's one area in that corner where the out-of-bounds lines become another player for you. And that double team put Cornell in trouble down there before the timely timeout.
8 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first half, and Syracuse leads it 14-13. A fellow who still has no nickname here. There's Dome Eddie. I'm sure the Dome Ranger is about somewhere. This opening game entertainment. And a crowd somewhere in the vicinity, I would guess, of about 15 to 18,000. What would you say, Duke?
Well, they drew 16,000 for the inter-squad scrimmage. I would say we got a bigger crowd than that. The fans are just swarming to the Dome. It looks like Syracuse already with 3 sellouts in the Big East could set an all-time attendance record this year. Surpassing Kentucky. Pretty fair program.
That shows you how close the game has been so far. A lot closer for a lot longer than a lot of people expected. 8 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in this first half. Syracuse 14, Cornell 13.
Well, a year ago, Syracuse had North Carolina and Marquette on the schedule, and I think Coach Boeheim's a little bit concerned about the schedule being a little bit weaker this year and getting his players up for these preseason conference games. They've got to come ready to play every night.
Now they inbound it. And the Pearl stole it, but he stepped on the end line. So Cornell will get it back.
Syracuse fronting and this pressure. Cornell with a new alignment. 4 across to get it inbounds.
And here's John Bayes matched up with the taller Howard Trish. Bayes was recruited by Fresno State the year they won the NIT.
That was a fine catch for Cornell.
Alexis got tied up with Banham, and the foul does go against Banham.
Tough break. Just got caught up with his feet. But the foul will go against Cornell and number 34, Ken Banham.
The pass intended for Banham was not high enough to get over Alexis, and that allowed Wendell to make the steal attempt, and then he got caught up in the legs of Mike Banham. Substitutions by Syracuse, wholesale substitutions, and it caused a little bit of confusion as to who's in and who's out and who's playing whom. Trish went out. Hawkins came in. So the backcourt now has Addison and Washington. Now Reed, Alexis, and Hawkins down low.
If Syracuse ever gets in trouble with injuries at the guard position, we don't be surprised that Addison would swing back to that number 2 position and play a lot of off guard for Coach Jim Boeheim.
That time, Addison went down and posted up the man who's playing him, and he's a big guard, awfully big guard.
Syracuse strength this year lies in their front court, not in the guard position, and unfortunately for Syracuse, 3 of the guards are nursing mild injuries.
Michael Brown opened up the game at the guard spot, played a couple of minutes, was replaced by Greg Monroe, and now he's got the 3rd generation of guards in this game. Washington's been in all the way. And now Monroe is back in. You definitely need a scorecard.
Monroe bandaged up, also having some trouble with his Achilles tendon.
Strong move by Hawkins, and he's fouled by Drew Martin.
Well, there's a mismatch inside. 6'4" Drew Martin trying to handle Hawkins is a tough assignment. That's one of the differences between the caliber of player in the Ivy League and the Big East would be that strength of the big men inside. Syracuse has 7 players that could match Kenny Banham at 6'7".
Andre's sporting a little bit of a mouse under the right eye there. And Hawkins a very good free throw shooter, 74% a year ago. That's his 5th point here in the first half.
A 4-year starter here at Syracuse. Last year he, for the first time, really became involved in the Syracuse offense as a scorer.
Syracuse leads 16-13. Here comes Givens. He was blindsided by Raph Addison, and Addison picks up another foul.
Well, not a bad play by Addison in that Givens was not looking at Addison on that double team. Unfortunately for Raphael, he reached in and now is going to sit down with his third personal foul.
Addison has not scored in this first half.
Well, two of those fouls were of the cheap variety, and that hurt Syracuse with their leading scorer and rebounder of a year ago, now sitting down with 3 personal fouls.
A year ago, Raphael led Syracuse in scoring 16 times. Bay is all alone.
He can stick it.
16-15 now, and we're under 7 minutes. Nice spin move by Andre Hawkins.
Syracuse can do that all night. Drew Martin, no way that he can handle Hawkins inside.
18-15 Syracuse. Again, they find Bayes. And here comes
trouble. Wow!
Talk about rising to the occasion.
Boy, Givens.
Sam Givens went up to swat that away.
Showing his leaping ability not only on that particular play, but with 3 or 4 key rebounds here in the first half.
Come on. And now Givens against Monroe. Got the passing angle.
Now Cornell needs a basket here badly.
Here comes Bayes. Cartsonis will throw it up. He's not pretty, but it goes in.
One of the better shooters on the team. He's a little bit unorthodox.
Now the Pearl. And Howard Trish will try it. That was Hareed reaching over the back of Florin, and he nearly stole the offensive rebound.
Cornell defense doing, I believe, an outstanding job blocking out in their man-to-man defense. There has not been too many times down the court that Syracuse has had an opportunity for 2 and 3 shots at the basket, as many people suspected would happen this evening.
Michael Brown back in the game, and the Pearl sits down for the first time.
Both teams have relied primarily on good, strong man-to-man defenses during this first half. Syracuse has been attacking with its motion offense. Cornell has been spreading out the floor.
Off the hands and face of Cartsonis, here comes Monroe. And Michael Brown for his first collegiate points.
That was a nice dump off by Monroe to the trailing Brown for the easy bucket.
5 minutes to play first half. 20-17, Syracuse by 3. Derek Williams against Monroe. Mostly man-to-man by Syracuse. Here comes Drew Martin on Hareed. And a rear outside shot by Gibbons. Hawkins had trouble finding an outlet man. Monroe rifles to Trish, and he mishandles.
Tough break for Syracuse. Cornell shooting now. Has cooled off. Bayes getting a breather. Derek Williams, number 12, and Sam Givens now running the show in the backcourt.
Andre Hawkins denying it to Florin. Williams directing the offense. Cartsonis, he just gets it in.
Unorthodox shooting form.
Little shove shot on the way up. And Dean Cartsonis has 6 points in the game. Syracuse wants time, leading 20-19 with 3:57 to play in this first half. Well, they say Cartsonis is one of the finest outside shooters on the team, and he is demonstrating that in the game. Ford out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's listen to the Syracuse cheerleaders here. The huddle around the Syracuse bench. Jim Boeheim, Bernie Fine, new assistant coach Wayne Morgan, former player Eddie Moss is there. That's the brain trust, and right now they're trying to figure out a way to get this team going against a very smart, disciplined, and good Cornell team.
I hope the Syracuse fans aren't impatient. Syracuse, of their 12 scholarship players, 8 of them are either freshmen or sophomores. It's going to take some time for this team to develop some consistency in their own identity or their own chemistry in terms of getting to play with each other, especially with 2 freshmen in the starting lineup.
Syracuse enjoying the edge in rebounding by a 2-to-1 margin.
Those totals relatively low due to the fewer number of shots that have been taken in this first half.
Alexis in the corner as Monroe directs it from outside. Here's Michael Brown. 4 points now for Michael. Both field goals coming in the last 2 minutes. Syracuse by 3, and they pressure Cornell in the backcourt. Derek Williams.
Five seconds, and there's a good example of that rule where Derek Williams had possession of the ball in that midcourt area for 5 seconds, and it's a loss of possession. In this case, the arrow points in the direction of Syracuse.
Tom Miller got close to the borderline in the coach's box. Washington with a great move. And 2 Cornellians grab hold of the rebound. Now Baez has it. Cornell down by 3 with 3 minutes remaining. And Derek Williams will run the offense. Michael Brown plays him. Mike Mullane is 23. Again, it looks like a spread offense for the Big Red. Nice give and go. Baez finds Martin, mismatch, but he uses a nice reverse move, using the rim to protect his shot, and it's again a 1-point game.
Drew Martin, a very deceiving 6'4" player, has outstanding moves inside.
Look at the battle down low between Hawkins and Mullane for position. Now Hareed, played by Martin, and there's a foul committed by Mullane against Andre Hawkins.
One of the few defensive mistakes you've seen by Cornell in their defense tonight. Very seldom will they be reaching in. Good aggressive defense without fouling, and that has got Coach Miller a little bit excited on the sidelines.
Tom Miller, who played for Bobby Knight at Army and then coached under him at Indiana.
Also helped Bobby Knight coach the Pan American team and also participated in the Olympic tryouts this summer.
3-second call against Syracuse. So Cornell, with 2 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the first half, can regain the lead with a basket on this possession.
One of the early surprises in this first half is Pearl Washington and Raphael Addison together have combined for only 2 points.
Martin feed to Cartonis. Cornell hasn't beaten Syracuse since 1968 as Cartonis travels.
Just about to say Cornell will be very deliberate and fight over that ball until they can get the last shot even, but unfortunately, turn it over.
Now Mike Brown. Hareed is posting up down low. There's Herman now. Off the leg of Brown. Monroe gets it back. Baez skids about 15 feet in the backcourt, and Hawkins gets the basket, and he's got a free throw coming.
Big bucket for Syracuse. Exchange of turnovers within 5 seconds, resulting in an easy Syracuse basket and a great feed by Greg Monroe inside to Andre.
Andre Hawkins high for Syracuse. He has 10 points.
Well, they say basketball is a game of spurts. There's a big 3-point play for Syracuse as they opened up a 4-point lead here now with just a little over 1 minute remaining in the first half.
And for Syracuse, their biggest lead of the first half at 4 points. Still Cornell ball. Coming up at halftime, we'll be talking with Tom Benzel, the managing director of the Dome.
Both teams have substituted very freely here in the first half. Both teams working very hard on the defensive end of the court.
Now down to 1 minute and 2 seconds. Derek Williams played loosely by Michael Brown. Martin driving on Hareed. Again, he goes on the reverse move.
Using the basket to protect himself on that drive. He does it very well. Using the basket as protection against the defender. Drew Martin on another fine baseline drive going one-on-one.
Syracuse by only 2. Down to 40 seconds. Will the Orange hold for 1? Monroe facing the double team. Florin deflects it.
Good help defense inside. Syracuse having trouble dumping the ball in. Jimmy Boeheim saying, slow it down, regroup, set up again.
Hareed in low. Alexis is fouled.
Almost got the roll. Alexis coming off the screen inside, very effective. Cornell very slow in switching.
Duke, is that the shot you want? Kind of a reverse turnaround jump shot when you're playing for 1?
Technically, Alexis really wasn't balanced. And whenever you come across the lane like that, ideally you want to square up to the basket in the triple threat position and then try to power the ball when you're inside that close.
Alexis, a very good free throw shooter at 82%. Raphael Addison, an 87% shooter a year ago.
Syracuse, a very solid foul shooting team. Shot 75% at the line a year ago, and I'm sure they'll be close to that or better this season.
Seemed like many years that Syracuse is not a good free throw shooting team, and then suddenly they turn it around, and as we talk about it, they miss. 26-23, Cornell will play for the final shot. We're down to 12 seconds.
Syracuse going zone.
They've got Bayes, watch him, number 32. He wings it to Kartsotis, and he connects. We're going to have a 1-point game at the half.
There's a perfect example of a skip pass going the width of the court from John Bayes over to the far corner for that halftime closing jump shot, which closes Cornell to within 1 point in a surprising first half here at the Carrier Dome.
That's the word, surprising, at the half. Syracuse 26, Cornell 25. We'll be back with halftime right after these words.
Make this year your year to own a new 1985 GMC truck from Dick Haskins GMC Trucks, Route 11 North Syracuse. Drive the S15 pickup with plenty of room in back for big loads and plenty of style up front to make you comfortable. It's at a low Haskins price of just $59.90. Or test drive the exciting S15 Jimmy. It's rugged and dependable. Haskins has over 50 new GMC vehicles in stock for immediate delivery, so drive one today. Dick Haskins GMC Trucks, Route 11 North Syracuse.
Imagine for a moment his power going out. Now imagine your power going out. Of course, power outages are rare with Niagara Mohawk because we're over 99% reliable. In fact, our energy may be the most reliable thing you can buy. Niagara Mohawk reliability. It's worth it.
GP Communications features Express Install. That's GP's fast car stereo installation at both locations. And GP's installation staff has over 50 years combined experience. When it comes to selection, no one beats GP with over 90 different models of brand name stereos in stock. This week, GP features Sanyo's in-dash AM/FM stereo cassette express installed with speakers for only $99.95. Come in today. GP Communications, Taft Road, North Syracuse, and Erie Boulevard East in DeWitt.
Back in the Carrier Dome at halftime, Syracuse 26 and Cornell 25. And joining me now, the managing director of the Carrier Dome, Tom Benzel. And Tom, it seems like just yesterday when you had myself and a couple of others walking on the roof here as they were constructing this facility, and time has really flown by.
Yeah, 5 years and almost 4 million spectators, David. I remember that day we sat right up there, in fact, and we speculated what it would be like to watch a basketball game in the Dome, and you look tonight out here, and it's quite incredible.
Yep, we sat there in the middle of the winter with no roof, and we were speculating about where the court would be and what the sidelines would be like. Okay, we're here. Everybody in town has been to basketball games, I presume, by now, and a lot more people are going to be coming. Which game looms as the all-time record breaker here?
Well, it's going to be a toss-up, I think, between Georgetown and St. John's. They're almost competing with one another. We're well into our extended view seating, which has become kind of a tradition here at the Dome, and we're expecting to break that 30,000 mark for a number of Big East contests this year.
Are there people who vie for those seats, just like those Chicago Cub fans way out? And
I don't know if they're vying for them, but they're a part of an event, and they know that. The enthusiasm just for the first 3 games this year is remarkable. We're going to have, in all probability, a record season, and we expect to finally overtake our friends at Kentucky.
I know now this year in the Dome, thanks to cable television, you can not only watch the game with your eyes, but if you're in the refreshment stands or even behind the curtain in the backcourt, as they call it, you can keep track of the game.
That's true. The backcourt has become very popular, and we expect to have some additional programming and showing the highlights of previous games there before game time. We're opening the doors a half hour earlier this year, so at each game we'll be opening 2 hours before tip-off in an effort to bring part of the big crowds that we know are going to be here earlier.
Can you let us in on any long-range events coming up here on the Dome?
Well, you know, I can take you out. It seems silly to talk beyond this year because the Big East is going to be so exciting, but we're going to have a repeat engagement of the NCAAs here a year from now.
Track and field indoor championship.
Well, I'm referring about basketball.
Oh.
In 1986, we're going to see the first 2 rounds of the NCAA here, and that's going to be another exciting event. And as you mentioned, coming back in March will be the 2nd edition of the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Champions.
There are more hotels now in town. There are more rooms in town. How far away would the Final Four be?
That's a good question. I'm completely biased on that subject. We're going to resubmit our applications and continually vie for that Final Four consideration.
One final word about football, which ended just a couple of weeks ago, was a very successful season at the gate.
Indeed, at averaging 44,000, and we've had some exciting games. That Nebraska game is still talked about here.
And we enjoy the high school playoffs in here as well, and hopefully there'll be a state championship here before long, too.
And high school's going to be coming in with more and more events. And I say this over and over again, but the Dome has fulfilled a lot of its initial promises, that is to being a multi-purpose facility and serving a wide range of sporting interests.
All right, Tom Benzel, thank you very much for joining us here at halftime. With the score Syracuse 26 and Cornell 25. We'll have the second half for you coming up right after this.
I wear a pin shaped like a key, but it means much more to me because we work at the bank where the key is really you. You're the key to everything we do. Across the state we're working to help you. The key to everything we do is you. At the bank, you're the key to everything we do.
Tremendous changes have taken place since East Syracuse Chevrolet was founded in 1929, but our concern for customer satisfaction never changes. We employ a thoroughly trained staff. Our salespeople will help you select the car that best fits your needs and budget, and we'll give you tips to keep your car as good as new by having it serviced regularly by our factory-trained mechanics. Times may have changed, but East Syracuse Chevrolet still prides itself on honesty, integrity, and commitment to customer service.
Back at the Carrier Dome as we get set for the start of the second half. Syracuse leads Cornell 26-25. Dave Cohen along with Duke McGrath and Eric Sandifer. And Duke, I guess the surprising thing from my standpoint is the lack of play by the 2 Syracuse centers. Ronnie Cycli played just 6 minutes, and George Papadakis has seen no action at all. And between them, they have no points.
Well, and further surprise is the lack of scoring punch in the first half by Edison, who got in foul trouble with 3, but Rapp with no points, and the Pearl with just 2. A year ago, Hawkins, Pearl, and Edison averaged over 46 points a game for the Orangemen. So Syracuse with a very poor shooting first half, 10 for 33 from the field, but credit the Big Red for some excellent team defense. Syracuse is going to have to get their running game going, and that's mainly accomplished by controlling the board, scoring, and implementing that press.
A 1-point Syracuse lead here at halftime, and right now let's go over to Eric Sandifer and find out what Syracuse may have talked about at halftime and what they'll do in the second half. Eric?
Well, Dave, my few minutes in the locker room, this half we can look for the Orange men to be more aggressive on defense. Defense got them back into the half there, but Coach Boeheim wasn't quite satisfied with the up-tempo of the defense. We can anticipate seeing the defensive players be in the passing lanes a little bit more and watch them go a little more aggressively to the offensive board as well. Coach Boeheim thinks that this is a good game for the team to be in right now. Cornell is playing them very tough. One area that I noticed in the stats is the rebounding. SU is a much larger team, much more physical, stronger inside because they have to be with the conference they're playing in. Cornell is out rebounding them by a 12-9 margin. And the reason for that is that Cornell is doing an outstanding job boxing out on their defensive boards. SU has probably gotten only one second shot this half, if that. And I think in the second half we can look for SU to go much more aggressively to the offensive board and create more scoring opportunities for themselves off of missed shots. We can also look for them to fast break a little bit more. So those few points that I mentioned to look for in the half, fast breaking, the offensive rebounding, and maybe a little more pressure, full court and half court, will be the key to SU's success here in the second half. Back to you, Dave.
Well, Duke, we keep waiting for the explosion to happen, and we waited throughout the first 20 minutes. And now Syracuse and Cornell for the second 20 minutes of basketball action, and you really got to credit Cornell and their coach Tom Miller for coming in with the game plan and for executing it to this point.
Well, Coach Miller came in, I think, pretty optimistic. In fact, cited a point that Syracuse in the Nebraska game, Syracuse feeling they could play and win a ball game. I'm sure the Big Red came up here tonight thinking that they could play with SU after coming off that fine win over Utica College.
Again, keep in mind there is no shot clock in this game, so if it stays close, you may see an all-out delay. Cornell, by the way, in their home opener defeated Utica College, and they played before 1,100 fans.
I just talked with Larry Costello here at halftime, and Larry was very impressed with the play of Utica College, or with the play of Cornell a week ago when they invaded Barton Hall, especially the tough defense that Cornell plays, and they had a substantial shooting night from the field, 63%. Drew Martin has drawn 3 personal fouls in the first half, the only Big Red player in foul trouble, and of course Raphael Addison went to the bench early with no points, also has obtained 3 personal fouls in the first half. Other than that, Kenny Banham also with 3, and that's a big statistic because without Banham inside, Cornell is going to be in very deep trouble.
Syracuse has only 10 field goals in the first half, and 5 of them were assisted by the Pearl. Doesn't seem like there were that many plays that culminated in baskets, but that's what they credit the Pearl.
Good things happen with the ball in his hand. Now the crowd standing, waiting for the first basket of this half.
Man-to-man by Syracuse. By Cornell. Cycli starting at center. He has not touched the ball on offense. Here's Addison inside.
Great feed by Andre. Into Addison with a strong power move inside for the easy bucket.
And his first points of the game. 28-25, Syracuse by 3.
Now Syracuse looking now to pick up more aggressively defense. There's a great move by Banham, but the shot
got away from
a little bit by the Syracuse defense.
Michael Brown charges into Sam Gibbons. And Cornell will get the ball. We're 51 seconds into the second half. And the crowd seems to be a little bit more into the game now as Syracuse leads by 3. Here's the pressure, and you get the view that Drew Martin has. Our Rogers Cable Systems crew giving you the vantage point of the man inbounding the ball.
Cornell doing a much better job since the early moments when Syracuse clamped that press at now. Breaking the press and getting in their offense down here.
Aggressive man-to-man defense by Washington. He was detected for a foul in the first half with that same kind of defensive play. Michael Brown, who can go to the boards for a guard.
Fine leaper.
Between the Pearl and Brown in that backcourt, you've almost got enough beef for a football backfield. They're put together well.
Randy Cycli back in the ball game now as Hawkins moves to the power forward position.
They haven't been looking for Cycli inside. There they go for the first time. He spins.
Not a bad move. Move!
And those are his first 2 collegiate points.
No hesitation on Randy's part as he just made that spin move and jammed her down there.
Now Baez in and out of traffic. Sam Gibbons. Drew Martin is choked off by Addison. Syracuse 30 and Cornell 25.
Syracuse going to have to keep putting a lot of pressure on here and not get lulled to sleep by Cornell in their deliberate offense.
Cartsonis erased by Cycli.
Oh, great defensive play by the big guy inside.
Well, this
He
may
showed
be
us
the,
what he can do offensively and comes right back with a great defensive play at the other end.
Maybe the 2 plays that Cycli needs for his confidence. Certainly has woken the crowd up. Cycli moving back down low. They give Addison some room.
Great movement there. Raphael wide open for his first field goal of the half. Syracuse has quietly opened a 7-point lead here in the early moments of the second period.
Addison now with 4. Gibbons nearly traveled. Cornell trying to get back into the offense they were in earlier. Now Drew Martin. Outside he goes to Baez.
A lot of inside screening.
Cartsonis with room, and he cans another.
Continues the hot shooting of the first half with his first field goal of the second.
5 for 5 in the game, Dean Cartsonis. Hawkins over Bantam. Cycli for the tip. He is on fire now, Ron Cycli.
Oh,
a stuff, a tip, and an erasure.
Something Syracuse hasn't been doing much of the first half, getting a second attempt at that field goal at the offensive end of the board.
Syracuse is a substitute now. Greg Monroe, Wendell Alexis for Michael Brown, Andre Hawkins. Suddenly, it's a 7-point Orange lead over the Big Red. Tom Miller is up in animated fashion. And here comes Cartsonis. Now to Derek Williams in the game at the point. Orange fall back in the 2-3 zone. Baez. In the middle, Martin. And as he went to the hoop strong, it was Cycli and Alexis converging. And we'll see how Jim Burr calls the foul.
Great move by Drew Martin at 6'4". Sort of dwarfed inside, but he made a good strong move on that feed from John Baez. Cornell trying to stay close here.
Foul goes against Ronnie Cycli. That is his second foul.
Drew Martin, one of the 3 tri-captains of this year's Big Red team. Lenny Palmer, their best defensive player and also tri-captain, is missing the first half of this season due to academic problems, but will rejoin the squad in the second half of the year.
Martin gets them both. He has 10 points in the game. Second player on Cornell to hit double figures. Hawkins has 11, all in the first half for the Orange. Now Addison. Cycli up over the back, and that one got tipped in.
With a little luck.
They give it to Cycli. Intimidation.
Hesitation there. The presence of Ron Cycli on that baseline definitely altered Dean's shot there, but he will draw the 2 fouls and go to the line. Cycli making his presence felt in the second half.
Ron Cycli is, well, I don't know if you'd call him gangly because he's certainly not thin. He's a very strong, muscular, but sinewy 6'10".
Well, it's going to take him some time to adjust to the American game. His forte at this time is aggressiveness and he has the ability to run the floor very well. He's got to work a little bit on his outside shot and also not leaving his feet on defense.
Jim Boeheim taking Cycli out of the game to calm him down because he's done some very good things, and you don't want him to get carried away. There's a replay of that block a couple of moments ago. First by Alexis, and later by Cycli.
George Papadakis making his first appearance in the ball game.
Martin with a good strong rebound. And now here comes Williams, Derek Williams. Alternating with Sam Gibbons at the point for Cornell.
John Bayes has been silenced of late. He's going to have to get more involved in this Cornell offense. He's a definite outside threat.
Bayes has 6 points. He and the Pearl have pretty much neutralized each other in the game. Pearl has only 2 free throws, no field goals. 0 for 5 in the first half. Bayes has not gotten his shot in this game.
Cornell looking to dump the ball inside.
And here's Martin.
Very patient team, very intelligent. They don't force too many shots. Keep working that ball until they can get a good baseline shot like right there, but Banham doesn't get it to fall.
Wendell Alexis was pushing off on Florin, and he's detected for the foul. Not a very good foul for Wendell, who had offensive position, and he had the height advantage. So for Alexis, that's his second foul and the 4th on Syracuse. Kartsonis comes back in, replacing Wolfgang Florin. Again, off the inbounds, this time Syracuse stays on the man-to-man. Martin, Papadakis battling with Banham.
Syracuse picking up the pressure on defense. However, Cornell, a veteran team with 4 starters returning, are not getting riled by this good pressure defense.
Nice penetration by Williams, and Kartsonis
Great
inside for the basket.
Great penetration. Very patient Cornell team. All these players are always aware of where the ball is on the floor at all times. One of the golden rules of their man-to-man defense is to see the ball at all times so they can be in a position to help out when the ball goes inside or when it's reversed.
Now Greg Monroe, and here's Michael Brown.
Great patience there by Syracuse. Brown sticking that open 15-footer. There's a 3-on-1 break coming back. Papadakis is going to draw the foul.
And for George Papadakis, that's his first foul and the 5th team foul against Syracuse this half. So Andre Hawkins comes back in the game, and Hawkins will be the center now as Papadakis sits down. We've got 13:32 to play. Syracuse leads Cornell 38-33. And at the free throw line, Dean Kartsonis. He's having himself quite a game scoring-wise with 15 points. High scorer in this contest.
It's been a pleasant surprise for the Big Red. Improved greatly over last year. Earned a starting berth for this Cornell team.
You know, he might be the least skilled player out on the court in terms of athletic ability, but he's been in the right place at the right time and done the right things. They work it down low to Monroe, and it's tipped up and in.
Alexis alertly getting the tip in.
Now the pressure by Syracuse. Cornell throwing it back to Martin. There's the double team against him. Bayes brings it across. Got to wait for his team to get down court.
Well, Syracuse has given up a few 3-on-1s in that press, but eventually it'll take its toll. And you'll notice it when Syracuse runs off the spur to 7 or 8 uncontested points.
Nice hook feed, Martin, and he's clobbered by Andre Hawkins.
I tell you, Drew Martin does an amazing job inside of drawing the fouls and has excellent form and that power move for a 6'4" junior in there with the Giants.
Well, the foul, I believe, is is on Andre Hawkins. It is.
Drew Martin in his junior year has been a starter at Cornell all 3 seasons. Averaged over 10 points a game a year ago.
And Martin out of Staten Island, who had 2 game-winning shots a year ago, one against Utica and the dramatic shot against Princeton, as Cornell won a 33-31 game down at Barton Hall.
Now that's one of Martin's few breathers he's had in this ball game. Drew Martin goes to the bench for a well-deserved breather.
Eric King has come on for the first time in the game. Eric King to replace Drew Martin.
This pesky Cornell defense has prevented Syracuse from opening up a dramatic lead. There's the key offensive rebound. There's the third one.
And another.
But Syracuse cannot put it away. Syracuse crowd becoming a little frustrated now, feeling that the time has come to open this lead up.
Off the foot of Bayes, he saves, and now Kartsanis has it. He goes around Alexis, and out to Sam Givens. A little bit of a delay look by Cornell right there. Eric King is 41. Sam Givens, here's Kartsanis, he'll put it up. Rejected by Raphael Addison. 11:55 remaining, second half. Syracuse by only 4 now over Cornell, 40-36. Eric King signals for a timeout, and we've got a timeout with 11:55 to play, and Cornell trailing Syracuse 40-36.
While coming into this ball game tonight, Tom Miller said for Cornell to have a chance to win, they'd have to play an intelligent ball game, shoot well, handle the ball well, and keep Syracuse off the boards. And almost to a T during that first half, they've done so.
Let's go over now to Eric Sandifer.
During my 4 years here at Syracuse University as a student athlete, I was asked many questions about the team, the coaching, the critical decisions that was made by the coaching staff, and sometimes some questions about my play at times. During our telecast here at Cable 13, we're going to give you the opportunity as fans to write in and ask me questions and make comments about the performance of the team and the players this year and some of the critical decisions that Coach Boeheim and his staff will have to make during the course of this long season. So if you could write in to the following address, and during our next telecast and throughout our telecast on Cable 13, I will address some of your questions. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thank you, Eric Sandifer. Joining us along with Duke McGrath in our first regular season Syracuse game. And Duke, we've got some excellent high school games to look forward to as well here in the Syracuse-Onondaga County area.
Well, in the ever-expanding county league now, the so-called city league now is merged with the county. We should have some interesting new rivalries developing in the A-League of the Onondaga County North this season.
What about your old high school prospect, Danny Shays? Not seeing all that much time this year with the Denver Nuggets.
Unfortunately, he hasn't, but Denver has been playing very well and off to a fast start.
That is the first field goal of the game for the Pearl off the Syracuse pressure. 4 points for the Pearl, and Syracuse now leads 42-36. At the half, it was a 1-point Syracuse lead, 26-25.
Very difficult for Cornell to take it inside.
Washington stutter stepping, and he's fouled on the layup. Here's that address if you've got a question for Eric Sandifer about the game of college basketball, something in particular about the Syracuse program. Drop us a line at Rogers Cable Systems at 500 South Salina Street, Syracuse 13202. Syracuse spurted to a 7-point lead at 34-27. They had that lead again at 36-29. But then it was Cornell outscoring Syracuse 5-2. And now the Pearl tacks on Syracuse's 43rd point.
Four quick points for Pearl. She returns to his offensive game.
John Baez going through Pearl and Michael Brown.
Well, now turnovers are becoming a real factor in this ball game.
Again, the defense forcing the turnover, and pretty good foul as they prevented Pearl from getting the breakaway layup. Took the pressure off the Pearl as to whether or not he would have stuffed it. Non-shooting foul. Foul went against Derek Williams, his first. Addison. Michael Brown leads for Washington. Brown comes off the screen with room. One of the few that he'll take that'll go in and out before going down. But Michael connects, and now he has 8.
Great movement in the Syracuse offense, getting great shots, showing a lot of patience.
Ron Cycli up off the bench. He'll check in at the next whistle. Hawkins doing a good job of denying Bantam. Baez against Brown. Here's Drew Martin against Addison. And Baez his room. Kartsonis follow shot. Baez follows. Rebound is Alexis. Washington has trouble with the dribble. And now Addison. And Baez with a rebound.
Syracuse now has opened up a 10-point lead. Largest margin by far in this ball game.
Williams wants Kartsonis to come toward him. Now here's Bantam for the fallaway. Catches the front rim, and he has a nice soft touch.
Nice turnaround jump shot right over Andre Hawkins. One of the few times on the last 5 or 6 trips down to Cornell has been able to go over the Syracuse defense.
Mike Bantam's second field goal of the game. He only has 5 points. Syracuse by 8, down to 9:40 to play. Fewer substitutions of late by Tom Miller. Michael Brown started at guard. Only played a couple of minutes in the first half, but is in for most of the second half.
Cornell down 8 points, still being very deliberate, working for the good shot.
Baez to Martin. Kartsonis outside to Derek Williams. Alexis holding Drew Martin. And here's Baez.
Shot clock not in effect this evening. Cornell's had that ball a good 45 seconds now.
Kartsonis puts it on the floor, and it's swiped away by Alexis into the hands of Addison. Sloppy play, and finally a foul committed by Washington. Mike Bantam, who plays, Ken Bantam, who plays as the mouthpiece, will be the recipient of that foul, and it will be a 1-on-1 situation. Eight minutes, 31 seconds to play. Syracuse 46 and Cornell 38. Bantam high off the glass, and he has 7 in the game, and Cornell's back within 6.
Oh, Bantam with a nice shot right over the top of the defense.
Timeout with 8:18 to play. It's Syracuse 46, Cornell 40.
Make this year your year to own a new 1985 GMC truck from Dick Haskins GMC Trucks, Route 11 North Syracuse. Drive the S15 pickup with plenty of room in back for big loads and plenty of style up front to make you comfortable. It's at a low Haskins price of just $59.90. Or test drive the exciting S15 Jimmy. It's rugged and dependable. Haskins has over 50 new GMC vehicles in stock for immediate delivery, so drive one today. Dick Haskins GMC Trucks, Route 11 North Syracuse.
GP Communications features Express Install. That's GP's fast car stereo installation at both locations. And GP's installation staff has over 50 years in combined experience. When it comes to selection, no one beats GP with over 90 different models of brand name stereos in stock. This week, GP features Sanyo's in-dash AM/FM stereo cassette express installed with speakers for only $99.95. Come in today, GP Communications, Taft Road, North Syracuse, and Erie Boulevard East in DeWitt.
Dave Cohen, Duke McGrath, Eric Sandifer at the Carrier Dome. We're nearly 12 minutes into the second half, and the Syracuse 1-point halftime lead has only been extended to 6 points now at 46-40.
Well, Syracuse opened up that 10-point margin a few moments ago. It looked like they might be in control of this game, but Cornell refuses to die and clawed its way back now to within 6 points once again.
Here's Greg Monroe, number 11. Michael Brown is 35 with the ball. Now Addison has it. Man-to-man by Cornell. Alexis working for the shot. Down low. In and out of the paint. Being played by Wolf Floor at 44. Here's Cycli. A little too hard. He follows his own shot. Alexis is blocked and fouled and dropped.
Well, on the third attempt, Drew Martin's going to be called for, I believe, his 4th personal foul. Syracuse changing up that time down the floor in its offense, spreading it out a little bit from their normal motion offense.
Wendell Alexis will be at the free throw line. Alexis is 7 in the game. Andre Hawkins has not scored in this half. Now 2 out of 3 from the line tonight. 8 points in the game. Andre Hawkins coming on. He replaces Wendell Alexis. So Jim Boeheim continues to use all sorts of front court combinations. Right now up front, Hawkins, Cycli, and Addison. Monroe in the backcourt with Michael Brown. So Monroe is at the point. Here's Drew Martin. Syracuse by 8. Banham inside. He missed the layup as he went down with Andre Hawkins. And the foul will go against the Hawk. Where's the beef? Well, it was on the floor there.
Well, Banham took that ball to the basket very hard that time. He and Cycli were having quite a battle with Banham trying to get open, and he made that good, strong move to the hoop.
For Andre Hawkins, that's his second foul. And the attendance tonight, 20,439.
The feeling is if Hawkins can make that transition to power forward, that he will cut down on his fouling, because most of the time at that center position, he was forced to defend against some dominant players in the Big East like Patrick Ewing. Made it very difficult to stay out of foul trouble.
A year ago, these two teams drew 16,047, so the count is up by 4,000. Hawkins using the body well, and Michael Brown using the soft touch gets the roll.
Well, Syracuse having many more opportunities at second shots this second half, and taking advantage of them and opening up their lead now to 9 points as Syracuse comes back in their 2-3 zone.
Duke, what's the strategy behind going zone at this point?
Well, normally with a lead, it can slow down the team here a little bit. This kind of a change in defense might help. Cornell only taking 28 shots, but they've been taking good shots, and their shooting percentage has been higher in this ball game. The clock is in Syracuse favor now. Cornell is going to have to pick up the tempo in terms of getting a good shot, but they can't be eating up a minute every time down the floor, and that's what the zone's going to do for Syracuse.
Down by 11, 6.5 minutes to play. They try the lob. Givens follows it up. Now Baez lays it up.
Well, tough break for Syracuse. A couple deflections that went right back in the hands of red shirts. Baez picking up that errant flip back from an orange player.
That's only the first field goal this half for Baez. Cycli inside, over Banham, yes.
Now there's a good example of him turning around and squaring up to the basket. Balanced, nice move inside by Rennie. He's really made his presence felt in the second half.
And one facet of his game that maybe he doesn't get credit for is speed of foot. Beautiful baseline drive by Martin.
Martin once again. Amazing quickness getting to that basket from the baseline.
For Martin, only his first field goal in the second half. I started to say that Cycli is very quick for a big man. He can get down court as fast as anybody on this team. Michael Brown finds Monroe in the corner. And for Greg Monroe, his first field goal in the second half. He's got 4 in the game, and the Syracuse lead is 9 at 54-45. Sam Givens. Big Red, pretty soon will have to be firing these shots up. They can't get too fussy now. Cartonis has been quiet for the last couple of minutes, number 30.
Theus has been very quiet. Drew Martin, look for some perimeter shots. This is to Syracuse's advantage.
Well, he sticks it up in a hurry, doesn't he?
Got a fantastic shooting percentage this evening.
18 in the game for Dean Cartsonis. I guess Cartonis proves you don't really have to have a jump shot as long as you have a quick release.
He doesn't have a full extension in his shot, but he gets the job done. And normally a coach will not fool around with a player's form if he can knock it down like he is tonight.
Drew Martin fouled the wrong man because Raphael Addison is an 87% free throw shooter, but for Cornell that is only team foul number 4 according to the scoreboard.
That's an amazing statistic because they do play that good man-to-man defense without getting themselves in that one-on-one situation. And here we are with only 4 minutes left in the ball game, 4.5. And Cornell has only committed 4 personal fouls in the second half. A credit to their team defense.
They committed 8 in the first half. That is really amazing, being undersized and outclassed and staying with Syracuse and playing excellent defense.
Well, regardless of the outcome of this ball game, Cornell has got to go back to Ithaca tonight knowing that they got themselves a good ball club preparing for the Ivy League.
Nice baseline move by Monroe. Cycli for the follow, and he'll be going to the free throw line. Again, if you've got a question about Syracuse basketball, college basketball in general, drop us a line. Eric Sanifer will address your questions on our next cablecast. Our next game, by the way, against the Golden Griffins of Canisius here on Cable 13. Ron Cycli with 8 points, all in this half. And you get the feeling he could quickly become a crowd favorite, Ron Cycli. Now it's Syracuse by 8, 55-47. The 55 points represents Syracuse's lowest score of a year ago. They got 55 in the last game of the season against Virginia in a 63-55 NCAA loss.
Syracuse normally up there averaging in the high 70s. It's not the shot Cornell wanted, or Coach Tom Miller, I'm sure. Well, Syracuse extending that motion defense. Trying to isolate a little bit.
Off the knee of the Cornellian. And we've got a timeout with 3 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. 3:18 to play, and Syracuse leading Cornell 55-47. Second half has seen Syracuse, as you said, do get numerous second and third opportunities, and people like Ronnie Cycli and Michael Brown have come to life. Cycli with 9 points in this half, Michael Brown with 6 points. Let's go over now to Eric Sanifer and hear what's on his mind.
Well, The difference in this half opposed to the first half is the offensive rebounding of the Syracuse University basketball team. What I have diagrammed on the board here is the ideal rebounding position. A position on each side of the basket and someone in the center. This is the positions the three big men are occupying, with one of the guards getting just inside the key area, the other guard being back to prevent the fast break. Syracuse has gotten several second chances here tonight, especially Ronnie Sinkley here in the second half, to prove his worth to this team. Andre's done a great job on the offensive board this half. The whole team has just done an outstanding job on the offensive board, and it's been the difference in the game here in the second half. Back to you, Dave.
3 minutes and 18 seconds to play now. That graphically tells you the story of how the second opportunities have been good ones for the Orangemen as they finally have overhauled Cornell, leading by 8. It's not insurmountable by any means from here on out, but Cornell has an uphill struggle. Last year's game, 84-55. A Syracuse victory. Cornell last won in Syracuse in 1964. Now Addison to Hawkins, and here's Washington with a jump feed to Alexis.
Al Pearl, with that great peripheral vision, always looking for that easy dump off. He had a relatively short shot, but found the open man inside even closer.
John Bayes. He'll take the shot.
They're going to have to take those kind of shots now.
And Syracuse will be in no hurry now as Monroe walks it up, as Washington, that is, walks it up the court. Gibbons on the overplay. High off the glass, in and out, and Monroe rebounds.
He felt the footsteps of Pearl Washington.
Reach in there by Bayes against Washington. That's only foul number 5 on the team.
Bayes looks like he's getting a little tired too. A little reach in there, but that still does not put Syracuse in a bonus situation.
This has not been a memorable game for the Pearl, or for too many Syracuse players. It's been a struggle as Addison connects. Bayes dribbles toward his coach, Tom Miller. And Bayes is going to be firing from here on out. He's in double figures now with 10. We're under 2 minutes, and it's Syracuse by 59-49. Hawkins with the speed, but he got it stripped away, and here comes Bayes.
Nice strip by Bayes, number 32, preventing an easy Syracuse bucket.
In some quarters, people were talking about a 25-point Syracuse win against this Cornell team.
I believe the spread was 19. And based on the scores of the last 3 years.
Bantam was held there by Hawkins. Basket will not count. Minute 16 to play and a 59-49 score. Syracuse over the limit, so Bantam will go to the line now for a 1-and-1. We have not seen Rusty Cooper in this game. He played at Jordan Elbridge, I believe.
Also played for Rex Parcells at Cayuga Community College before transferring to Cornell this year. Well, Syracuse has had their hands full tonight. Cornell gave them all they wanted. John Bayes now coming out of the ball game.
Well, Rusty Cooper is in the game, number 25. Syracuse by 10, 59-49. Derek Williams gambling for the steal against Washington. And finally, Cornell is over the limit. Coming up next, Syracuse against Canisius. You'll see it Wednesday, December the 5th at 9 p.m. right here. The Pearl missing on the 1-and-1. We're into the last minute, and it's a 10-point Syracuse Syracuse lead. Eric King. That's his first points of the game. 59-51.
Cornell still playing that aggressive man-to-man defense right to the end here.
Cornell, a team that could challenge the Ivy League crown.
Well,
beautiful
great
feed to
pass from
Addison.
Monroe. Greg Monroe, what a great feed to Addison on the baseline.
Raphael with 8 points. He has 8. Washington has 6. Wolf Lauren missing. And will walk down the other end of the court for some free throw shooting here with 18 seconds remaining. Well, they strike up the chorus of Amen. Kind of a half-hearted version tonight. It's been a very good game for Cornell.
Wow, this is not a typical Cornell team. They've improved immensely. Their program has come a long way, so not necessarily the poor play of Syracuse tonight as much as Cornell has been very impressive.
And a pair there for Monroe at 6 in the game. Here's Rusty Cooper. That's a kickball against Monroe. Like to see the local youngster get a shot and score a basket here in the Dome. Eric King, he's had a field goal. There's Cooper, back to King. And Wolf Lauren connects out of the corner. That's his first basket of the game, and Cooper commits the foul with 2 seconds remaining.
Coach Miller can't believe Rusty foul in that situation with just 2 seconds remaining. Just a matter of what this final tally is going to be here as Pearl Washington goes to the line for a 1-on-1.
Nice gesture there by Tom Miller, shaking the hand of Jim Burr, congratulating him on a game well officiated. Washington with his 7th point. And point number 8. Cooper will get one away. And he just missed. So it's all over here in the Carrier Dome with the final score. Syracuse 65 and Cornell 53. The Orangemen winning their first game of the 84-85 season. Cornell losing for the first time. They are 1-1. High scorers in the game for Syracuse. Unofficially, Wendell Alexis with 11, Andre Hawkins with 11, all of those in the first half. Dwayne Washington with 8, Raphael Addison with 8, Ronnie Cycli with all 9 of his in the second half. Michael Brown had 10, Greg Monroe had 6, Herman Harid had 2, those in the first half. For Cornell, they were led by Dean Kartsonis with 18, Drew Martin had 14, John Bayes had 10, Ken Banham had 7, 2 apiece for Eric King and Wolf Lauren. So it adds up to a final score of Syracuse 65 and Cornell 53. Again at the half, it was a 1-point lead for Syracuse at 26-25. And let's go over to Eric Sandifer and get his closing comments on tonight's game.
Well, a victory is a victory, and I'm sure Coach Boeheim is happy with this one. However, he may not be too pleased with the performance of his team here tonight. But we must give some credit to a much improved Cornell basketball team this year. They played Syracuse tough for a half throughout the entire ball game. As I pointed out at last time out break, Syracuse kind of dominated on the offensive board in the second half, and that might have been the difference in the ball game. But Cornell played a very intense, well-controlled, intelligent basketball game, which is probably their forte. Syracuse will go back and practice very hard this week in preparing for their next opponent. They have a very talented team, but they have a ways to go until they're a cohesive group. And I think once they mesh together and get that right combination, and the players coming off the bench understand their role, Syracuse will be a very tough team to beat this year. And I look for them to be very competitive in the Big East, and looking forward to our next broadcast. And remember, if you have any questions or comments that you'd like for myself or Dave, anyone on our staff to answer, please write to the address that was given to you earlier, and we'll see what we can do. Thank you. Back to you now, Dave.
All right, Eric, and there's the address again. Rogers Cable Systems, 500 South